Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope all of you today are in good condition. The Honorable Professor Dr. Trio Supriyatno MAG as my lecturer and all of my friends, I hope all of you are in good condition. So guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Siti Ainur Rahmah. So right now, we have a very interesting topic to discuss. So the topic is about the treasures of thought of Islamic scholars as a theoretical and practical source for the development of Islamic education. So let's talk about it. For the first, we will talk about Al-Ghazali's thought on Islamic education. So, Al-Ghazali's thought on Islamic education can be viewed from several educational aspects, namely the education goals, methods, and also teacher and student ethics. In order to be clearer, I will describe the four spheres of Al-Ghazali's thought on Islamic education. The first is the educational goals. So, the formulation of educational goals is essentially a philosophical formula or the thinking about education. The formulation will determine other related aspects, including aspects of objectives, curriculum, methods, teachers, and students. Based on analysis of Al-Ghazali's thought, it can be clearly seen that there are two final goals to be achieved through educational activities. As you can see in the screen, the first is the achievement of human perfection, which leads to a self-approach to God. And the last is human perfection that leads to the happiness in the world and the hereafter. And the next, we will talk about the method of education by Al-Ghazali. So, Al-Ghazali has implemented several methods in the learning process, such as the first is the method of lecture or called Thariqah Talqiniyah, Thariqah Ilqaiyah, or Ikhbariyah Talqiniyah. So, teachers as the conveyor or mulki and learners as recipients or mutalaki. And the second is the method of discussion. So, understood from the word mukhatobah. Mukhatobah is one of the word from Arabic. Mukhatobah means that human scriptures according to their level of reasoning ability. And the last is the question and answer method. Understood from the word Husn al-Su'al, and Al-Ghazali viewed that asking well or Husn al-Su'al is something recommended in Syara. As Al-Ghazali said in his book Minhaj al-Muta'alim, quoted by Hasan Bazun, that Husnu al-Su'al nisfu al-ilmi, and this means the good question is just a science. Even Al-Ghazali strengthened the argument with the Naqli argument. I mean, this is from the Al-Quran, and the meaning is ask experts in certain fields if you do not know. So from this, we know that the question and answer method is very important. And the next is professional teachers. So, there are several characteristics should be possessed by a teacher to become a professional teacher. The first is the teacher should view students as their own children. So, teachers should not only view their students as mere students, but also must view them as children who must be educated with knowledge and also good morals. And the next is the teacher does not expect wages and praise. They must be heartfelt in teaching knowledge to their students. And the third is the teacher utilizes every opportunities to give advice and also guidance to students that the purpose of studying is to get closer to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And the last is the teacher should practice his knowledge and not vice versa, where his actions are contrary to the knowledge taught to students. And the next is about the characteristics of good students. So, a student who is studying according to Al-Ghazali must have the characteristics of good students, such as the first is tawadu, or student should be humble. So, Al-Ghazali recommends that no student feel bigger than their teacher or feel their knowledge is greater than the knowledge of the teacher. And the next is a student should be clear-minded, protected from despicable manners and also traits, such as anger, heart, envy, pride, ujub, takabur, and so on. And the next is, good students should prioritize learning the obligatory knowledge. For example, studying the Quran, because mastering the Quran can support the implementation of worship, as well as understanding the teachings of Islam as a whole. Considering the Quran is to search at the main teachings of Islam. And the next is, they should study science gradually, being advised to start from the religious sciences and master them perfectly. After that, they will move on to the other science, according to their level of importance. And our next material is about Kiai Haji Hashim Ash'ari's thought on Islamic education. So the first we will talk about educator and ethical personality. The first is always draw closer to God or taqarrub. So this is mean that the educator should always fear God, always be calm, always solemn, and also steering all the matter to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And the next is do not use his knowledge to attain a mere worldliness. And the third is avoiding dirty places and also places of maksiat. Why? Because of course we know that this kind of place is very bad, especially for the educator. And the next or the last is istiqomah, read the Al-Quran. And the next is about teacher ethics in learning. So the first is to purify oneself from hadas and dirt. And the second is intend to worship when teaching science to the students. Convey the things taught by God, get in the habit of reading to add knowledge. And the last is greet when entering into class. So before teaching, to begin first by praying for the scholars who have long left us, who have a lasting appearance, and for second things that are not properly seen in the eye. Refrain from joking and also looking. And the teacher should be never teaching in hungry, angry, sleepy, and so on. And the next is about students' readiness aspects. So there are some things that should be prepared since the education process by the students. The first is the physical readiness of a students with the saturation of the subject matter. So the physique of a students should be ready with the saturation of the subject matter. And the second is the aspect of interaction readiness with the student community. And the last is the talent factor of interest. And our next material is about Fazlur Rahman's thoughts and its contribution to the development of Islamic education theory. The first is about educational purposes. So according to Fazlur Rahman, the current strategy of Islamic education is not directed to a single positive goal, but a very defensive one. The first is to save human mind from Western ideas that come through various disciplines, especially ideas that threaten traditional Islamic morality. And the second is to save human and to give birth to scientists who are able to integrate religious science and modern general sciences, which is characterized by the existence of critical and creative nature that can produce endings useful to mankind. And the last is emphasizes the moral aspects. So Fazlur Rahman said that the first educational responsibility is to instill students' mind with moral values. Islamic education is based on Islamic ideology, of course. And in the end, whatever color of science mastered by the learner will bring the values of Islamic ideology in real life. And the next is about education system by Fazlur Rahman. So by Fazlur Rahman, education system is integrating religious science and also general science in organic and comprehensive within the field of education. Basically, science is integrated and cannot be separated. Science is natural and accessible for anyone. And our next material is about education facility by Fazlur Rahman. So according to Fazlur Rahman, the education should be prioritized the development of libraries. Why? Because this is considered as important because scientific references are needed for the development of science, especially books in Arabic and also book in English containing theories and the development of science from various countries. By implementing this method, complementing references in libraries, Islamic studies of various disciplines will be able to create new intellectual treasures. And our next material is about curriculum by Fazlur Rahman. So, to be a knowledgeable Muslim, of course, a student should not only study a particular field of study, but also should master other fields. Therefore, Fazlur Rahman advocated renewal in a religious-based curriculum by adding a general science-based curriculum, as well as incorporating religious values in the modern curriculum. And that's it all from me. I'm sorry if there are any mistakes when I'm explaining about the material. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and see you next time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.